This is a neutral documentary log of the market DNA copper asset, detailing Cycle 4, Phase 4. The information presented here is not financial advice, and leverage above 10 is strictly prohibited. Do not invest essential personal funds. This analysis is part of our public model documentation. This file strictly tracks visible price events against predefined geometric parameters. We do not utilize traditional technical analysis, fundamental market analysis, or subjective interpretations. Everything shown is a retrospective historical record of completed market action. This log contains no predictions of future market movement. This chart displays the initial state of the copper asset as of June 5, 2026, capturing the unprogressed market before any forward movement. The entry parameters isolate primary entry M at $6.4005 and a secondary entry, PC, at $6.2704. This establishes a mean entry price of $6.3354. The geometric foundation overlaid on the price action defines a strict 20-day trapezoid time duration, utilizing a third triangle domain calculated at 5.32%. Expected target coordinates map target 1 to the lower trapezoid, target 2 to apex N, and target 3 to the uppermost boundary line. These initial boundaries constitute a fixed spatial map. Every subsequent price action will be measured impassively against these predefined coordinates. The underlying financial parameters begin with a hypothetical capital base of $100,000, isolating exactly 5% or $5,000 as the expected maximum drawdown. Both trade sizes are calculated using the hypothetical capital, the investor's maximum allowed drawdown, the third triangle domain percentage, the risk coefficient, and the contract size. This formula dictates a single rigid output for position sizing, locking each trade size at exactly 0.37. Under Scenario 1, the optimal completion yields an expected return of 1.13%, while Scenario 2 targets a return of 2.25%, or $2,246. Calculating these rigid parameters up front eliminates subjective trade management. The absolute limits of expected risk and return are locked before the timeline begins. Advancing the timeline forward by 7 days to June 12, 2026, the focus shifts from the blueprint to the first realized event in the market. This chart shows the exact moment the price physically intersected the lower boundary of the trapezoid at 6.4565, formally recognized as the delayed mirror. This boundary contact satisfies the strict visual requirements for Phase 2, moving the cycle into passive observation for the next geometric milestone. The timeline advances to August 4, 2026, marking the next major structural interaction on the chart. This chart displays the price reaching apex N at 6.57, outside the initial time window. Before this, the price dipped below PC, making double contact with the lower boundary to charge the safety buffer and trigger a partial release. Despite the delayed timing and necessary safety buffer adjustments, reaching the apex formally completes Phase 3. Only the ultimate upper boundary remains to be tested. The timeline advances one final day to August 5, 2026, arriving at the conclusion of documented Cycle 4. This chart visualizes the final visible event log, the asset's price striking the absolute top boundary of the trapezoid, known as T3, at 6.708. Hitting this final spatial limit brings the progression phase to a close, immediately triggering a comparative audit of the starting parameters versus the realized data. The expected return of 2.25% is measured against a final realized return of exactly 2.00%, accounting for safety buffer adjustments and the final exit profit. The expected maximum risk limit of 5% is measured against a realized maximum drawdown of negative 2.17%, logged during the lowest price point along the path. Finally, the original 20-day projection for the trapezoid duration is compared to the realized timeline, which totaled 61 days. The cycle is now fully logged as a closed historical event. Past geometric pathways provide documentation, yielding no assumptions for future cycles. This concludes the market DNA copper documentation.